Greetings, Jedi traders. David here of TradingFibs.com to bring you a tutorial on the use of the Murray math levels and in combination with the T3 Trading Fibs strategy. As always, please seek financial advisement when trading with your money, as these videos are for educational purposes only. To support your knowledge in the market, see what's going through my head on any given day. Always make sure you have a solid trading plan and always manage your stop when placing a trade. All right. So let's do a quick review here. Again, the Heiken Ashi bars, the core trend bars versus trying to identify. On the left here, you can see the variety of different candlesticks, trying to interpret them. I keep it simple by using the HA bars. You can see here the solid body tail is up, indicating uptrend, solid body tail down, indicating downtrend, and anything else in between is indecision. Sometimes this can be enough to just remain in the trend. However, using a variety of perhaps different moving averages, using Fibonacci retracements, Fibonacci targets, in combination, what we have found now together with the MML study found by one of our fellow trading room members has proven to be a very powerful and profitable trading system. All right, so let's quickly review here. Let's go through the high probability setup that, based on my trading strategy, looking for price action either above or below a 5144 cloud. That's an EMA overlay from a 1 minute chart, and together with a 534 EMA down below. When all things are in sync, you have a not a 100% guarantee, but you have a high probability setup that, together perhaps with market internals or many other indicators that you might be watching. But the bottom core simple strategy, keeping it simple, is that once price action runs in trend, you have yourself a trade management strategy that allows you to remain in the trade as long as possible by moving your stop down to swing high stops, or perhaps moving your stops down to indecision Heiken Ashi bars, and a variety of different trade managements. Again, the purpose of this video is not to go over the setup, but the combination of using the MMLs together with the T3, how do you set that up, and to what advantage can you see your runners, or what possibility can present itself if you use the MMLs together with the Heiken Ashi bars. All right, so just a quick peek here. Let's go from that high probability setup that we just showed you here, and then if we throw in an MML chart, all of a sudden this is the lower MML. We'll show you what that looks like here, but support down here, price action, all of a sudden now we have, some people like to look for targets. Again, a variety of different lines. Is just another study, fractal line in the market, and price action runs down, again pulls back and continue down. That all comes down to trade management. But when we see price action come down to these levels, bounce back up to another level, and then come back down, sometimes you wonder if you got yourself a holy grail. But the truth is there's no holy grail. So it all comes down to trade management. All right, so there you are. And together, going from no MMLs to now a Murray math level, how can we use this to our advantage? All right, there is information out there when it comes to the Murray math levels here at Big Mike's Trading Room. Again, you can go read online, look more into the behind the math. There is a textbook out there. You can read it, purely mathematical. If that's your thing, you want to go ahead and dive right in. I have no problem with that, but for those of us that love visuals, you can start to check out, just type in Murray math on your YouTube channel there, as well as I found some other stuff here, expert advisor Murray math analysis, just to get you started if you want any backgrounds. All right, so let's head right into the charts. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with a basic chart here. This is Heiken Ashi bars, just like we just showed you before. No special studies other than the Heiken Ashi bars here on Sierra Charts. All right, so we went ahead and chose the Heiken Ashi. These are now Flex Renko charts. Again, there's no indicator that says you have to use these. You can use 1 minute charts, 5 minute charts, but in particular, I use the range charts. So again, while this tutorial could be useful for the members in our trading room, if you're not and you want to somehow adapt this to your current trading plan, again, it doesn't matter the kind of candles you're using. All I'm going to show you here on the CR charts is how to set up the MMLs and then how we can overlay them. And then let's look at some different time frames. All right, so we have two charts that we're going to start out with. One plain chart, no indicators. And then we have the MML charts and nothing on this chart. As we'll take a look here at the studies. Actually, I have them hidden at this time, but we'll open those up here in a little bit so you can see. These are just regular candlesticks on the chart that have been colored turquoise for up movement and blue for down movement. All right, so where is this Murray Math Level study? If you head into the studies here and you scroll down on the left-hand side, you will find the Murray Math study right here. So let's just go ahead and we'll click on that and give you a look at what that study looks like. Whoa, that's a little short there. So let's go ahead and reload and recalculate. And actually, let's open that up a little bit. We're on a 5-minute chart here. Let's go down to a 1-minute chart. We should be able to open that up a little bit more. All right, well, for expansion of time right now, again, we could see here we need to change the settings, obviously, because right now the square width is on a 4. All right, so we start with the basics, which seems to be what's out in the literature. 64 seems to be the number that's an entry-level number. Now, we've played with different numbers. You can go ahead and play with those as far as square width settings that work for you. But here we are now that we've opened this up. So now 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, it doesn't matter. It was the square width. As you can see, they were really compact. So you'll open it up. You'll say, well, I can't see the whole thing. Well, here it is. Open up. 8.8 down to negative 8.8. The basic premise behind it, fractals of 8 in the market. And there's your numbers. Well, what does this all mean? Well, you can go back to the article. You can start to read what those levels mean. But we went ahead and through our fellow trading room member, he seemed to find a way to give each of these levels as well as what's written out there. And actually, I could pull that up here quickly for you. As right here on the trading blog, here's the major picture here, lower trading range, the variety of different names given them, but still for the majority written by these fractal lines here. All right, so what do we do? And by the way, if you don't want to see all these numbers on the top, you simply hit the settings, come over here to the subgraphs, and you make sure you uncheck the display study name, and bang, it's gone. All right, so what can we do with all these lines? Well, if you're a trading room member of ours, then you already have this study and it's been done for you. But let's just go ahead and we're going to replace the Murray Math. And what we did, or what we have now, is we're going to go ahead and hide this. And I'm going to go ahead and show you that these lines have been replaced by the following, which give us the same levels up above. All right, we got our 8/8 all the way up top. 8/8 all the way down below, and here you can see that now they've been given names from reversal to reversal all the way down. Now you can keep these on your charts if you want to look at them. I went ahead and decided to go ahead and ignore some of these levels that I'm not using. So simply by going to -8, -8, and you simply start to ignore the levels that you don't want, you simply click on ignore, and these levels will be gone upside. Again, based on the combination of the T3 and what I'm looking for in the MML, I find no necessity to watch these green levels above and the green levels down below. Now, it's up to you if you want to keep these other levels in between, but to me, I like to keep the charts as simple as possible. So, having chosen to use only, okay, so what I did was I got rid of the middle studies. Let me go ahead and show that to you again. So going into the studies here, you'll notice that if I uncheck the hide, you'll see what simply was removed. Everything in between and down below. All right, so go ahead and hit the apply. And now you have the basic levels from the reversal, overbought above, resistance, resistance, major support, and support, support, and oversold and reversal. Now, this again is not my trading strategy, but the combination, when you use both together, as we'll see here tonight, on some of these charts here is that when you put these two together and you're looking for a powerful trend, they can make a powerful combo together. I keep reiterating that, but when you see it together, working very nice. All right, so now we have the basic setup of the MML here on a 5-minute chart. Again, we could change from a 5-minute chart, we can go to a 10-minute chart, and we go to 1-minute chart. And what you start to notice is that as you change the time frames, is that these MML levels will change as well. So one of the key things, and again, this is something that you need to play around with on your charts, is that you want to look for what is that setting. And in particular, you want to see that it covers a certain amount of time. You don't want it, if you're looking at a shorter time frame, you don't want it to be covering days. And if you want it to be covering days or months, you need a larger time frame. And for example, here we could see this is a 10-minute on the ES. I can be looking at this on a 4-hour. I can be looking at this on a 60-minute as well. I can also be looking at it on a daily as well, using different moving averages. All of these might have different settings. And again, where is that setting that we're talking about? We're talking about the setting in the square width. So if we go into the study, into the settings, on the first page, the two most important things here is, number one, your square width. You want to make sure your square width multiplier is 1.5. The reason behind that, I can't tell you. All I can tell you is that that's the information I've gotten from out there. And if you want to make sure that your numbers are rounded on the side, you would go ahead and click yes. All right, chart region number 1. So what happens when you play around with the square width? Well, if I change it from 128 to 64, so let's go ahead and move this off to the side so you can see what happens. Let's go ahead, keep that over here. All right, and we'll go ahead and check the settings here, 128. And you'll see what happens as I go smaller, the MML starts to shorten up inside. So I go to 64, I come into 32, and we go any smaller. We're not going to see much of the price action here. So again, 64 is the basic level entry that I like to start with, even though I do watch some levels on using 32, but that usually is like a 4-hour range chart. And then we can obviously, on the larger time frames, we can go all the way up to 256. 256 is great, especially if you're swing trading. That can be useful, or even all the way up to 512, which would really expand it. And you can see here now, how would the 512 help me on a 1-minute chart? Well, if we go ahead all the way back and see how far back this 1-minute chart is, it's not bad because it's a 1-minute chart. But if I was on, let's say, a 30-minute chart, you could see that this is going back as far as March here. Does it really help me? Not really, other than to tell me back in April, it was a good, starting to be a setup at the MML lows. And obviously, perhaps at some point, the goal would be for a price action to lift off the lows here and head up higher. All right, so that's the basic setup. You got to find the setting. Again, 64 is what I like to start with. 128 right now is my preference on both a 5-minute and a 10-minute chart. 128. So let's go ahead and set that. 128. There's the 128. And there we go. That would be my 128 setting. Now again, I'm on a 1-minute chart here, and I said that I usually tend to watch a 5-minute chart. That is my preference, a 5-minute chart, and I like to watch a 10-minute. So right here off the screen, I'm just going to pull those right in. This is set to a 2-minute right now, so let's go ahead and change that to a 5-minute. And I also watch it on a 10-minute chart intraday, both side by side. Now you might want to play with different time frames on the overnight, on the Globex, as volume is down and price action moves a little differently. As we can see here on this chart right here, here is a 2-minute MML, and again, this is just, it's, well, let's go ahead and show you before this, the overlay. Let's go ahead and show you this MML. There you go. So here on the 2-minute, you can see we're just at about the end of the session. Well, this is the majority of the session, but then you can see already Globex starting here, and price action as it slows down on a 2-minute or 1-minute gives you a better opportunity. Now, the chart I just showed you had the overlay, which is what we're getting to here in a moment. together with the HA bars, and that's where we're leading. So here we could see as time moves on through the Globex here, we could see the slowing down of price. These are the range charts together with the HA bars, and look at that. You got yourself an additional strategy when in trend from one MML lower to higher, from the MML low to higher. So what is the basic core setup of the strategy? All right, so we have ourselves a 5-minute right now, 5-minute strategy. The basic understanding here is that you'd want to take an entry at the lows and you want to ride it up to the highs. Vice versa is that you'd want to take an entry somewhere up here around resistance and run it down all the way to the support. Now, part of the strategy is taking a limit order right here at resistance and riding it down. You could take a contract off at major support resistance. You could implement the trade management that we use in the trading room, which is sometimes take one off, bring your stop up to break even, see if you get a runner. Variety of different trade managements, but the whole idea is that we'd be looking for a move from the resistance up here, 55.07, all the way down to 54.88. Now, I'm not going into the whole entire trade setup, trade management. I'm going to default to our trading room member. Once he puts that video together, I would be happy to get that out there to you guys so you can see how he's using that. But as far as the combination of the T3 moving average together with the combo, that's what this tutorial is about. All right, so I have my 128. I have it on a 5-minute chart. How do I move this over to my range chart, my Heiken Ashi bars, right? Now, you can put a Murray chart on your trend chart. Very easy to do that, and it will show up. So if I go in and I put my MML, all of a sudden it's right there. All right, I already have it set up. It's modified here, and all of a sudden I have myself a trading strategy together with the HA bars. But I prefer to watch them off a minute because I believe that MML was based on a minute chart, and you can use them on a range chart, but I prefer the overlay, and that's what I would like to show you right now is how I use that. All right, so let's go ahead and remove everything I just added, which was the Murray math level chart here. And let's go ahead and remove that. All right, so we're back to the basic standards of just the HA bar. So what we do is we go ahead and we want to do a study price overlay. So we come down and we go ahead and hit the study price overlay. And the first thing we want to do is we want to find the study that is the overlay, and that would happen to be the MML study, the last study that's listed here in the chart. And so we would find, whoops, that wouldn't be this one, it would be that one right there. And so there it is. There's the Murray math levels, and we're going to be doing study number 3 at this point because that's the one that we chose to use versus the other two, which had all the other levels. Rolling down, we want to make sure that fill blanks with last value. We want to make sure we click yes. And we want to use any short names from the study, all those reversal and other names that are applied to the lines. We want to make sure they're there. Also, we want to make sure that chart region is number 1, so we apply that to the top of the chart. And nothing to change in subgraphs as this is coming from the other study. Remember, if you don't want the numbers up above, go ahead and uncheck the display. All right, there's your OK. There's your OK, and all of a sudden now you can see a little bit different from what we had before. And here we are, and we are on a 10-7 flex Renko with Heiken Ashi bars here with the overlay of the MML chart. So if we change the time frame, so I want you to notice here, 55.07.75, if I change this, all right, all of a sudden the resistance becomes 55.12. If I go over here to my range chart, all of a sudden I have the same levels. Now, being that it's overnight session, volume's down, range charts aren't moving as much, perhaps I'll decide to go down to a 5-4 flex Renko. All of a sudden I have a nicer setup here. I have the HA bars in trend from the MML low to the MML high. All right. One other thing you could do is you can also on your range chart, which is a very nice study, is you can use a moving average. The moving average in particular is the one I'm talking about, is the 34 EMA. So I pick the moving average exponential. I hit the settings. First thing I make sure is that the length's going to be 34. All right, I want to make sure I give it a little name, especially when you got a lot of studies in there. So 34 EMA. And in the subgraphs, I'm going to go ahead and choose yellow. And I like to thicken the line here. And I also like to see the name on the chart as well. So I'm going to check 34 EMA. Click on the name label. And I would like to see it right on the edge there. Again, I don't want to see all that display at the top. And I hit OK. And I hit apply. And all of a sudden, now I have myself a 34 EMA. Can you put this on the Murray math chart? Absolutely. You can keep a Murray. You can keep a 34 EMA on the chart. You can see here. But the 34 EMA is important to me on the range chart, as it will be have a little bit of different setting. And you can see here what a nice, powerful combination of price action breaking above a moving average, and great example here in after hours trading, which is not using any market internals, purely based on MML. And one of the reasons that intraday we use market internals, if you're trading Globex and you're a trader in Europe or any other part of the world and you like this strategy, you want to use them together, this is a nice combination, especially on the overnight low volume, going from one level to another. So here you go. Price action, solid body tails up. You have the breakthrough above the support. There's your entry. Price action to the upside. Again, trade management's up to you. Where do you take it off? But the whole idea is you have a system here, powerful combo that runs from not only the support down here, but up to the resistance. Now, like I said, this is on a 128. The MML here on the chart is on a 1 minute. If we were to change this to a 2 minute, all right, we'd obviously see a little same number, 54, 55, 12. So that doesn't change anything. All it changes is the distance between when the MML started. Now, at some point in the Globex session, especially on a 1 or 2 minute, this will change. I'm not recommending or saying that a 1 or 2 minute cannot work during the trading day. Obviously, more price action. You could try this out. You can use just the MML if that works for you. But again, when you put this all together, as we do here in the Trading Fibs Strategy Room, here we have ourselves on a 10-7. I can go ahead and open this up to a 5-4. So let's go ahead and see this on a 5-4.
NQ long setup.
All right. And so now the combination, I'm going to go ahead and change the MML that I have set right now. I'm going to change that to a 1 minute. And so now we can see here what a nice, powerful study. All right, breakout above the cloud. For those of you that know the 5144, we're above the VWAPs. All right. Now, a couple of things that aren't in sync that don't always work out, especially maybe during after trading hours. But a great example today on the NQ, which I could show you here, is that price action when it lines up. All right. I don't want to just take a blind entry here. I don't know. Maybe we're perhaps in a downtrend. If at least I have, where would the highest probability setup be here? Is right here when this dot showed up. Now, do I want to be chasing a trend that's already in play? Usually not. So if I have the setup that's down here together with the 534 EMA and the 5144 all in the green, beautiful price action lifts, moves to the upside, and I got myself a trend. Do I exit up here? Not necessarily. All right, an opportunity to continue to move the stop up along the way. So let me go ahead and show you. I took a picture here today, but let me go ahead and just let's see if we can get back to that. Let's go to a 10-7.
Long setup.
Let's go back. We had it on a 5-minute chart. Again, I told you during intraday, either 5 or 10 minute. My recommendation is that if you're watching this intraday, if you have a range-bound session, maybe perhaps half of the average daily range, or you just see that we got a lot of chop like we did here today on the NQ, this would be a perfect opportunity to watch the charts in a way that you would use the MMLs only on a 5-minute chart. If we had a long trending day, I'd want my MML to be larger. I want it to be a 10-minute time frame. All right, so here we go. So right now, actually, the MMLs here, even though they shifted over a little bit, I probably can open this up a little bit. If I go to, let me see, let me try a 10-minute chart. See if that pulls back any, yep, there we go. Bang, there we go. I think we have the same levels, but here you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. We had them a little smaller this morning. So let me go back to a 5-minute chart here. All right, so the purpose here is to show you exactly, if you can picture this right now, that these MML levels were extended out to here. All right, actually I might have the chart right here. Let's see, NQ full session. Let me see here. I do not, so I cannot find it. It might not have been today, but the idea here is that if you have price action, I'm looking here, see if I have the chart. No, I do not have it set up right now, but hang on, right here I do. Here it is. Okay, so there it is this morning. So off at 10.7 flex ran. This is what I was looking for. There you go. As you can see, the T3 trading fib strategy is an entry off a long Heiken Ashi bar. Solid body tail up, right? You have everything in sync here. 534 EMA. You have the 5144 in the green. Everything's lined up together. What a beautiful combination right there. Everything in sync. Don't need to wonder if this is going up or down. You just have to take the entry. Where's the stop? Well, if your entry is going to be up here around 54.92, your stop would be at the swing size. If you're going off the MML strategy that our trading room member uses, a limit order right here at support, 54.88, you got to be at a 3-point stop or anywhere down here to 54.83. Either way, solid Heiken Ashi bar, check it out. Runs up, 2 indecision bars, continues upside. Yeah, it does pull back. You most likely were taken out, but eventually there it is all the way up to resistance. So whether you ran that from here, never taken out, all the way up to the next resistance and sat through the chop, that's all based on your trade management strategy. But when you have a setup here like we're looking at right here today in these after hours on the MML, together with on a, what do we choose here? On a 1 or 2 minute chart, we can see the powerful combination together. All right, so MML, again, some basic information out there. Very easy to study. I showed you how to overlay it from the MMLs. You have it set up on your minute chart. You overlay it on the trend chart. Now you have your basis for the MML setting. Again, you want to make sure the charts are linked so that you do that here in the chart setting. You go here to the advanced setting, make sure your charts are linked together depending on what you're changing. Are you changing the session times, the symbol? I'm basically changing here on the MML, it's the overlay. So if I change the overlay, as long as the 2 charts are linked, all right, as long as the 2 charts are linked, actually, I apologize. You don't have to link it because the study is already linked in the studies. Sorry about that. So it's right there. It's already linked based on the overlay from the other MML chart. So you have the overlay. Once you change that, it changes on the range chart. And that's basically it. Again, you got to play around with some settings you like. It's no holy grail. Sometimes you're going to see a setup here and it's not going to run. It's going to pull back on you. So again, it depends on where your trade management strategy is. Having the 34 EMA, look at this, guys. So you ran it down. Price action runs down. You're looking for an entry upside. I'd wait until it cleared the 34 EMA. Price action continued down. Didn't cross the 34 EMA down here. But again, you're already moving from up to down here. Price action here, you're looking for the entry, doesn't cross the 34 EMA, pulls back, look at that, crosses the 34 EMA, then you got yourself about, I don't know, somewhere around a 40, 50 tick move here. That's pretty nice, especially for a Globex session. All right, that's the Murray math levels. I hope pretty much covered it all for you guys. If you have any questions, please email me, david@tradingfibs.com. You can check me out on social media at Trading Fibs. Let's go ahead and pull up some of those for you so you don't get lost. Again, tradingfibs.com is the website here. You can check me out on Twitter as well. And you can check me out on the stock twits as well, where I post daily the charts that I am looking at. Hey guys, wherever you may be, have yourselves a blues of the day. I hope you got something out of this. Again, if you have any questions, you want to join us in the trading room on any Thursday or Friday, go ahead and email me, david@tradingfibs.com. Have yourselves a Blue Zone day, wherever you may be. Good day, good night, and good trading to you.